Etsy has changed a lot, and it's constantly changing. The algorithm is changing. They're using more AI. They're showing people things instead of having people search for things. They're having people tap buttons. They're telling people what to look at. They're manipulating search results. There's all kinds of stuff going on. So SEO is still important, and it's important to get your listings on Etsy set up so that Etsy can show you organically to people that you would never be able to reach. But we also have to start sending more of our own traffic and making more of an effort. And I know that a lot of people have left comments saying, well, how am I supposed to do that? There are some sneaky ways to do this that aren't completely promotional, because I know a lot of people don't like the buy my stuff, the hard sell kind of stuff. You don't have to do that. And I'm going to go through some sneaky ways to market your Etsy shop in this video. So keep watching, because I have some things you might not have thought about. Now, the reason that we have to do this is that Etsy used to be pretty easy, honestly, to list something and use the right keywords and get to the top page of search. There's also been a lot of changes in buyer behavior, and you want to build your customer base. You want to have your own people that you can send to Etsy, and you want to have people that are interested in what you sell so that you can make them repeat customers, because that's where the money is. It is a lot harder, and it costs more, either in time or in money, to get a new customer than it does to take an existing customer and get them to buy from you again. So what are some ways to do this that don't feel super salesy? Because that's what people hate. I know that people don't like that. I don't like that. The hard sells, the buy my stuff, that nobody likes that. Nobody likes doing it. Nobody likes reading it. So let's go over some sneaky marketing tactics, we could call it, just so that you can get some ideas about things you could do to get people to come to your Etsy shop and maybe to buy from you again once they purchase from you once. Now, I will say that if you're going to be doing this stuff, and this is organic, so I'm not doing paid anything here. These are all suggestions that are free. And if you're going to be doing this anyway and putting the work in, you might as well get a website. If you have a website, these are things that you should be doing to send traffic to your website. Don't necessarily send traffic to your Etsy shop if you have a website, because that should be your primary focus. If you have both, I honestly would focus on the website. I would get Etsy set up with SEO and stuff so that the organic customers can find you, like people that have never found you. You can send people there occasionally if there's a reason to, but I really would focus on sending people to the website and getting them to be your customer and not Etsy's customer, because Etsy's goal is to make people into Etsy's customers, and so that they buy anything from anyone. They don't care who they're buying from. You want them to buy from you, send them to your website. The first thing I would say is that if you do have a website, to go get the Share My Stars app. I'll put a link in the description, and it is an affiliate link, but it will give you a big discount, and it will put reviews on your shop, on your website homepage, that is basically pulling from your Etsy reviews, and it's showing the stars so that people come to your website. They see that right away. They trust you immediately because they see that you have a good star rating. And this is really about developing trust and developing relationships, because the more that you can do that, the more people will come back to you to buy again. So the first thing that you should do is to join Bendable. And I know that this is kind of a weird suggestion, and I've made videos about Bendable. It is a list-making program, and it was really developed for micro-influencers, okay? So micro-influencers are just people who do product suggestions and get affiliate payments. They're small businesses. They're independent. It's not necessarily like a super huge influencer that you'd get on Instagram or something with millions of followers, but there are a lot of people who just refer things. And if you can get on Bendable and then you can maybe connect with some of them, they will start referring your products. And also you can get affiliate payments for things that you refer on your lists. And I'll put a Bendable video up here in the card somewhere that you can go and check out if you're not sure what it is. I'm actually making some money on Bendable just by referring products. So people do go to Bendable and they are shopping. It's very interesting to me. And the thing about it is that it validates to me that people do go online to these websites, these programs, and they do shop. So if you're thinking, oh, I'm going to post all this stuff and it's not going to make a difference. No, it will. It'll help. I've seen direct sales come from Bendable that I have been paid for as an affiliate. And if that's the case, then you can use that to send traffic to Etsy or your website or wherever you want to send it. And it has been proven that it's sending traffic. The second thing that I also have talked about already is to blog. And I know people don't want to do a blog. I've done videos about blogging. I'll put the card up there. You can go look at that. And you might be thinking there's not a whole lot I can write about my product, but that's not the point. The point is not to write about a product when you're blogging. The point is not to get ad revenue and traffic to that blog post. The point is to answer questions for customers, be helpful, and in the process, you put links to your products in there, okay? If you write an article that is helpful to people, they will appreciate it and they will check out your links. And that is just something that happens naturally. You don't have to force it. You don't have to say, buy my stuff, buy my stuff, buy my stuff. And it doesn't feel super salesy, but it is sneaky marketing because you are linking to your own products during the process. Another thing that you can do that might feel a little strange, but people have done this before, and they were talking about this in my Facebook group, is that you can team up with other Etsy sellers who sell things that are complementary to your product, but not necessarily competing with them. So if you sell soap and someone else that you know sells candles, you guys could put together a self-care gift basket. And the thing about this is that I would say this is a gray area, but it's not, because Etsy has now made the curated by category in their products. And they say that you can make gift baskets. So if you curate something and you put it in a gift basket that you sell, that other person can also make a sale, but you would have to arrange that between the two of you. It's not like you can have an order and then tell that person, hey, send the soap separately to this person. It has to be in the gift basket. So you would have to make arrangements with them, but you could do that and it will fit under Etsy's guidelines. And clearly you can do that on your own website too. If it's your own website, you can do whatever you want. But this actually will fall under Etsy's curated by guidelines for gift baskets. Now, I would go in and read those guidelines very carefully to make sure that you're not violating any rules. But as long as you're following those rules, then teaming up with someone can be good. Another thing that you can do when you team up with people is to do like an email takeover, social media takeover kind of thing, where you post on their social media for a few days, they post on your social media for a few days to get to know each other's audiences. And with the email thing, you promote each other via email. Or that person will write an email for you, you'll write an email for them, and you send it to your different audiences. And that can open you up to an entirely new audience that you may never be able to get in touch with because they would just never hear of you. But if your products are complementary and people who buy that would also like your product, then it will work out for both of you. I would not do giveaways. I'm not a fan of the giveaways because you just get people signing up to get the free stuff and they're really not interested in buying from you. So just be careful with that. But doing the collaborative kind of thing really can help your business. And if it doesn't, you haven't paid anything and the only thing that you've put in is the time. But in general, it will, as long as you're choosing the products, correctly to make sure that the people who are interested in your product are also interested in the other person's. Another thing that you can do that is kind of sneaky marketing is YouTube. And I know that people are just going to skip this section, but don't, because I have people in my programs who have been reluctant to do YouTube and they just started and they said they're seeing people subscribing and they're seeing traffic to their Etsy shops from YouTube. And I definitely think that this is a really good way. Number one, people get to know you very quickly. If you're on camera, it's better. You don't have to be on camera. And the people that I'm thinking of are not necessarily on camera. Some are and some are not. But it will get people curious about your shop and they'll go to look at it or your website or whatever. And you can look at products that you have. You can, if you do like crafting kind of products, you can make something on YouTube. There are a lot of things that you can do on YouTube. And if you're not sure how your topic would fit, post a comment and ask, I sell whatever. And I will think of some things for you to do. Or go to ChatGPT and ask, I sell this. What kind of YouTube videos should I make? And don't only be selling things. Don't just be selling things. Help people out, answer questions, give advice, and use your products in the process. And then people will be more interested in buying them because you're not throwing it in their face to buy it all the time. Another thing that you can do that gets you can synthesize video and PDFs and all that kind of stuff is Patreon. And I don't think enough people use Patreon. I know a lot of people who do sell physical products who have Patreons. And you can do it for free. You can start a Patreon account for free. People can join your Patreon for free. And then you can offer paid memberships if you want to. It's kind of like a Facebook group, but it's not on Facebook. So you have a little more control over it and you can have more control about what things you can post. You can do videos, you can do lives. There's all kinds of things you can do. And it is a really good way to grow a customer base that wants to buy from you, and then you can offer them special deals or new products. It doesn't even have to be a discount. It could just be like a new product just for the Patreon group. Another thing that you can do that is sort of sneaky marketing is to post quizzes on social media. Now, people do this because people like to answer quizzes. And the reason that you do it is because as soon as one person answers the quiz, other people will, and then there's engagement. And you can get a few friends to go and post the first few answers so that it doesn't look like I'm the first one answering. Nobody wants to be the first one answering. So post quizzes, post things that are a little not necessarily related to your products, but related to your products. And, for example, if you sell, I'm going to go back to the soap. If you sell handmade soap, then you could ask things like, how do you relax? What do you consider a spa day? If you had a full spa day for yourself, what would you do? There are things that you can ask that people will be interested in answering because people like to give their opinions. Quizzes are posted for that reason, is that people like to answer them. And as soon as people answer them, the engagement goes up and then it gets shown to more people. And it's sneaky marketing. And a lot of the sneaky marketing stuff is kind of based on growing an audience and growing a customer base that you can then market to later. Another thing that you should make sure that you're doing is to tell stories. People love stories and they love to see how something starts and ends. And have you ever been on Facebook where somebody posts something and then it's clearly made by AI. It's clearly a fake story, but you read it anyway and then there's no ending to it. That's very frustrating. And people will stick with you to the end to hear the end of your story. So make sure that you're telling stories and kind of making it into a narrative as you're talking and not so much of a buy my products, buy from me. Nobody wants to hear that. They want to hear a story. They want to hear about something happening. Give this video a thumbs up. I personally think that all of these will help you build your customer base. And if you have any suggestions or questions and things that you do that will build your customer base, add them in the comments and I will talk to you later.